Beach Games is the 22nd and penultimate episode of the third season of The Office. This is directed by Ramis, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. It's a good episode to start off with. I didn't think it would end up being amazing, but the last couple of minutes, maybe the last 5 minutes, were really unpredictable, very well done. I cannot wait to watch the next episode. I have no idea what's going to happen next. I will give some predictions, but as always, whenever I predict something with The Office, I am wrong. So whatever I say is probably not going to happen. This one starts off with Michael feeling ill but with no symptoms, and Dwight tries to help him identify it. It's a decent way to start things off. The rest of the episode is about Beach Day, which seems a little bit pointless, to be honest. Everybody, once a year or however frequently it is, they all go to the beach together. And it's meant to just be a relaxing day at the beach. But this time, Michael is actually going to be putting them through various challenges. And this is because Michael is actually invited to interview for a job at corporate, which seems bizarre. I'm not sure Michael would be my first choice for a job at corporate. But nevertheless, he's asked to interview, and he's going to do this. And he asks Pam to take notes about people's character because he's trying to find somebody who would be a good replacement for him for his current job if he gets this job. And he's pretty confident he's going to get this job. And they're going to do what they call, well, what Michael calls funtivities, with a secret prize for the winner. And of course, the secret prize is Michael's job, which is not how that position should be decided, but nevertheless, this is the premise. And I loved the coach scene. Everybody piles onto the coach to go to the beach. Really enjoyed that scene. A lot of fun. And then Michael, talking to the camera, gives this whole list of pros and cons of pretty much everybody. And it was really interesting to listen to and really quite fun. I rather enjoyed that. And they have various challenges. There's a hot dog eating contest, and I'd say about halfway into the episode, Michael says, "The winner of today gets my job." He kind of shouts it, almost barks it, and everybody's reaction was pretty interesting. And I thought that was a really good decision to reveal that at some point. And then we have some more challenges, and Andy ends up wearing a suit and floating away, which in itself was very funny. But what I particularly liked was Angela's response, because she pretended to not really realise what Andy was saying. She pretended to not realise she should probably go and get help. And it was quite a fun response from Angela, almost. And she was also joining in with the sing-songs on the coach. And it's just a different side to Angela. If you take Angela out of the office environment, she's a bit of a different person, and we get to see this other side to her, which I really, really liked. We also get to see, and I didn't love this, and I am nervous, but again, I will give my prediction of what I think will happen with this. We see Jim and Karen both on the phone with David, both asking if they can interview for the job as well. And, well, I guess I'll give my prediction here. As I've said before, I feel like something has to happen by the end of this season to move Pam and Jim forward. So my prediction is that Karen will get the job. So she has a legitimate reason to leave Scranton, and it's not a negative. She's not being pushed out. She's not leaving because she can't bear to be around Jim. It's a good opportunity for her. So she will leave, she'll get the job, and then Pam and Jim have a chance to spend time with each other. And I think that is my prediction. As I said, I've been wrong with everything, but it seems like a logical thing to happen. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen there. It better not be Jim. I can't handle that if Jim leaves the office again. That cannot happen. Michael is then trying to walk on hot coals. He doesn't do it, but Dwight says he's going to do it until Michael gives him his job. And Michael's not giving Dwight his job. So Dwight spends a lot of time on the hot coals. And everybody's gathered around the beach. And we have this amazing, amazing scene. And I think it's such a turning point for Pam. Everybody's off to the side. Pam's on her own next to the hot coals. And she does it. She runs across the hot coals. And she's so proud of herself. And she's just got this newfound confidence. And she goes over to the group. And she's proud of herself. She says that she just did the hot coals. And then she asks why people didn't come to her art show. And that she feels like they don't even acknowledge her existence. And then she pointed out that she called the wedding off because of Jim. And I think this is the first time I questioned whether everybody else knew that. I feel like they probably suspected, but I didn't really realise that maybe people already knew that's why or mostly why she called off the wedding. And I will say, as much as I love this scene, I think other people's reactions could have been more interesting. She said that she misses Jim and she misses spending time with him. And I thought for a second she was going to run off all embarrassed after her outburst, her valid outburst. But she didn't. I mean, she did run off because she went to walk in the water to cool her burning feet down. But she said it was a good day. And she didn't suddenly realise that what she'd said might have been awkward. She just stood with it. And I thought that was fantastic. And it was a really great moment. I don't think we're going to get a sudden shift in Pam. But I think it's a slow, gradual turning point that I hope we get to chip away at a little bit more. And yeah, the only thing that didn't work about this is that I really wanted to see everybody's reactions to all of the things she was saying. But the camera just focused on Pam. And I understand that. I do actually think that that's valid because this is Pam's moment. It's Pam's time. Let's just focus on Pam. But maybe after she left, we could have spent a couple more seconds focusing on responses and people's reactions to this. But that's not what they decided to do. And then we're back on the coach, going home, and they're all singing the Flintstones theme. And then we end with Michael yelling Wilma, which I thought was brilliant and very, very fun, and I rather enjoyed it. So this was a very different episode. Definitely exciting, and I'm very nervous for what's to come because I have these predictions. They're always wrong. And I really hope I'm right with this one. I hope Karen gets the job. I hope she doesn't leave the show. As I've said, I don't look ahead. I try and avoid all spoilers. But I hope she leaves Scranton. I hope she leaves the Scranton branch. I hope she gets the corporate job. And that means she could still be in the show. Probably as much as, say, Jan has been. And then Jim can stick around, of course. And he will realise that Pam, as she said, she misses him. He'll realise that maybe it's time for him to admit how he's really feeling as well. And things will be beautiful from there. And that would be magical. And there's probably too much to ask for. Personal highlights from this episode. There are quite a lot of them. I love the word funtivities. Although if somebody told me we were doing funtivities, I would want to curl up in a ball. And the coach scenes, both of them, going to and from the beach, absolutely loved them. Michael's pros and cons moment, loved that. Andy floating away, Angela's response to that. Dwight crawling around the hot coals was pretty funny. Pam's entire speech, just absolute perfection. And then ending with Michael screaming Wilma. It's just fabulous. Absolutely brilliant episode. And I definitely will now say that I'm maybe a little bit addicted to The Office. And if you've been listening to me rambling on about this since the first season, you may remember that it was very difficult to get through season 1. I tried to watch The Office before, and I'm getting emotional. I'm so happy. And I tried to watch it before, I didn't like it, and I was determined to get to season 2. And I'm so thankful to everybody who told me to stick with it, because I'm genuinely, when you watch something and it just fills your heart with so much joy, and it's an ultimate escape from reality, and it's just such a gift. And that's what this is. And I never thought that I'd get to this stage, but honestly, I'm a bit obsessed. And it's taking all of my willpower to not completely binge watch the show. And the main reason I'm not doing this is partly because I'd get burnout with doing these long, kind of rambly discussions about it if I did it every single day. But also, if I were to just go in full force and binge watch the entire thing, it might become quite stale. I like having a few days in between each episode discussion because it allows me to build up that excitement. And it's going to be today, so another 3 or 4 days before I watch the next episode, and I'm on tenterhooks. Very excited, cannot wait. Beach Games was an absolute delight, and I am so excited and kind of nervous to watch the next episode.